Right. I was not expecting this, guys. I was not expecting this. I was actually expecting Nexon and Maple Story to go full nuclear and, you know, actually die out. But they pulled through. But I will go through their memo piece by piece from start to finish. Also, before you got anyone to ask, yes, I know I'm wearing my green shirt. I look like this because when someone pinged me that this announcement came out. I went from my car to my house, noticed I didn't have my keys, went back to my car. Turns out I locked my house keys and my car keys in my car because I was so excited about the news to read it. And I had to wait for AAA to get back. They took a good amount of time. Had to go back and I had to shower and I didn't have my laundry done because I'm a genius and I'm a grown ass adult. So yeah, I'm gonna look like this for the entire video. So yeah, but let's go from the pieces of information that are very prudent to be covered. I think I'm using that word wrong. Sue me. I'm bad at English. Okay, first one is our goal was to provide motivations to our players for character growth and enhancement, as well as provide content that players would be able to use actively and flexibly without being limited to only mobbing. If you're talking about the booster that was being that was actually shown in Maple Sea, that wasn't really confirmed, but I'm not gonna fault you on that because that was information that we were, divulging from another server into our server. But in our defense, a 1-for-1 is what Maple Sea and GMS typically has been for a decent amount of time for updates and changes, so I can't blame the player base for that, nor myself for that one, so nor Nexon, so that's no one's to blame. It's just how things have been. But yeah, the irony of actively and flexibly being able to do what we want for our growth and enhancement. Yeah, a 400 cap that we can easily hit in just about 30 minutes to less. Yeah. Smells like bullshit. So yeah. But at least they're being transparent now. Yeah. And from there, while also taking into account the difficulty level where newer players wouldn't feel like it would be too much of a hurdle. Okay, before anyone gives me shit for this, I'm gonna say it yeah, they can't. I gotta say it. Yeah, I'm gonna say it nonetheless. If you do not put in the work and time, you do not deserve the rewards of such. And before anyone else gives me shit on that topic or what I just said, I understand due to IRL circumstances, schedules, lifestyles, you are unable to put in the time like every other like sweaty person. I'm gonna use sweaty broadly because that's just I don't know what we are gonna discuss it as. But yeah, we understand. I understand. But that doesn't mean you handicap everybody else. It's the fucking crab in a barrel or bucket situation. Have you ever seen that before? Essentially, a little bit of context. If you have one crab in a bucket and you're trying to like grab one to to buy at a supermarket, the other crabs will grab that crab and refuse to let it go. It's essentially if we die, you die. It's that. If anyone argues that the cap should have been left there so the gap between the casuals and the sweaties should have been like smaller, you are fucking stupid. That's all I have to say. Cry about it, seethe, whatever the hell the other like things kids see in nowadays. I don't know what the hell it is, but essentially, you are wrong. You cannot prove me right or prove me that you are right. So you cannot do that. Yeah, we wanted to mitigate the negative aspects to the gameplay experience, such as illegal tool usage or paying for services for other players to farm that occurs as a result of having an acquisition measure that has been mainly focused on mobbing. You do realize you guys are the reason for it, right? Sure, you may have started the fire, but people are starting to live with it. It's a very weird situation that oh, if we caused this problem, we should have gotten rid of it. We should have mitigated it. But we're at the point that is a near impossible thing. And obviously, they're talking about frenzy totems and services for frenzy totem. That is literally what they're talking about. That may very well have been the direct cause for instance channels or instance maps. Sure, you can say that reboot. Hey, instance maps for a reboot was a good idea, and we'll give it to the regular server. Yeah, we can go back and forth on that one, and there's too many maybes, if and or factors like that I'm just gonna leave alone because that's just too broad of a back and forth. So I'm just gonna leave that be. But yeah. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? Da, 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 da. We have the goals in mind. We wish to lower the burden that our players might feel regarding playtime and increase the accessibility for casual players by distributing the solar energy and solar fragments to daily quests. Good. Very good idea. Very good idea. It helps both the casuals and the sweaties. It helps everybody. Helps the casuals because if they can't put the time in, they still get a piece of the cake. And for the sweaties, any bit of extra is any bit of extra. No one should complain. And let's see. Additionally, we added the daily cap because we wanted to wish another cap. Oh, we already covered that. Fuck the cap. Fuck the cap. No one cares about either. And we should have changed it. We've shown in gameplay videos and streams without detailed context from our team. It has caused a lot of anger and frustration with all of you. Yes, this further emphasizes the problem that I have mentioned time and time again. And what everyone else has as well, and all of your false promises, Nexon. You promised transparency, communication, but peanut. Nexon is doing that with this memo. Fuck no. This is not. This is the exact opposite of that shit. Transparency and communication is prefaced ahead of time. Not when shit hits the fan or after the fact. You cannot tell me I am wrong on that. Transparency and communication comes first before action. Or at the very least, at the same time. Once again, in my first video, I already covered it. Nexon, you were wrong in giving the Beam Brigades permission to go to the test server on a Friday when you guys got off work. Yeah. Good planning. No, good idea to let us test stuff. They could test it over the weekend. Maybe they're off work. They can test it long term, make content. Not a bad idea. But maybe do it on like a Wednesday to Friday. That way, when we discover these, because it was discovered almost the first night. Actually, it was. Yeah. Would have been a good, not really good, but better idea to do it that way. Once again, I can't fault them entirely on that, but yeah, your execution of your plans need to be better. So yeah. Well, let's see. Further from there. Regardless of the design's intentions, we understand that there are many aspects of these changes that are understandably concerned about. So in addition to the daily quest that will remain if you remove that shit, ho ho. Yeah, good on you for actually being smart enough to leave it there. We will also be removing the cap and explore separate improvement measures for parts that could be harmful for the gameplay experience. Yes, remove the cap. And to say the same thing as another content creator, Thumbs, who was a prior Beam Brigader, yeah, I'm gonna say what he said, which was a very good point about this portion. Explore separate improvement measures. Obviously, they're talking about booster. There's like what else are they talking about? You're talking about the booster. Yeah, I'm gonna say what Thumb said. Thumb said the following: if there was no cap to begin with, and they wanted it to monetize Soul Ertas regardless, if you had the boosters out at the same time that there was no cap, both facts being like side to side, I guarantee you just about everybody at 260 plus who cared enough about the game, which is a good portion of the game, as you can see how angry we were, everybody and anybody would have bought it. I would have bought it. My friends would have bought it. My guildies would have bought it. Everybody would have bought that shit. Everybody. That would have been a nice payday for y'all to actually be able to fund other portions of the game to better improve, hire more staff, team members for this. You guys fucked up. I can't say any other way. Yeah. This is not me giving you guys shit. This is me laughing at you guys. Like, I'm laughing at you, Nexon. Like, damn. But yeah, let's be honest. The way you do things, the way you conduct yourselves, with the way with all your plans that you have done, is just dog water. Sure, it may look like they're doing good to like maybe like people who like just take a glance at MapleStory, but you need to do things before they get like this. And I don't mean when it happened and like just before it happened. I mean like don't even allow it. Don't even let the seeds of this chaos start sprouting and growing. This should have never happened. But like I said, due to the lack of actual proper planning, poor plans, poor execution, lack of communication and transparency, lack of details, caused all of this. So from this, we have learned two key things personally what I like to highlight. And obviously, before I go from actually continue on that one, I would like to first cover Frenzy Totem. In that I will not be covering it simply because one, I am a 99.99% majority reboot player. All my time is divulged to reboot. So I am ignorant and therefore lacking information, perspective, and data on Frenzy Totems as a whole. I will not cover it because of those reasons. I will therefore be leaving it to content creators and parts of the community who will better be able to portray, compare, and just have an overall narrative on this aspect of the game because I do not have the information. It's like I'm too ignorant on the fact. And I don't think I have the capabilities to actually learn it unless I'm actually physically using it and have done so over time and actually seen other people use it and see the effects of it. I can't give my opinion on it because of the reasons. But back to my point. The two key things I feel we've learned from this example is the fact that your Nexon, your transparency and communication needs major work. We thank you for what you've done after the fact, but if you're gonna let content creators, people part of your affiliate program, to test content, I've given you guys shit in the past about not allowing us to have patch notes or some sort of information to come with the test server, just so one, content creators can actually make accurate content while still having a disclaimer saying things may change here and there. But also the fact that okay, I will not fault you for that because you're taking the steps in the right direction. Put a developer note, give us your rationale with the patch notes. I feel like that would quell like 95% or more of the problems that might arise similar to this circumstance. So yeah, transparency, communication, data, we need a lot of data. Kana, yeah. So yes, transparency and communication, please improve. Take what you've learned from this mess to improve, because you know your player base loves MapleStory. You have had so many people quit. I think I mentioned it previously in this video. I might have. This is a I don't think I actually, but just in case, I do believe, if my information and sources are correct, the party that completed Cowling first in GMS, they have already preemptively quit and or just quit in general. Yeah, you cared about the impact and the pacing of the game. If you have people just straight up leaving at that point, yeah, that is counterintuitive. So yeah, therefore, your transparency, communication, and flexibility in your and willingness to share data, yeah, that needs to improve, not by like 50%, 60%. That needs to improve drastically before anything happens. And the second thing we discovered that we need is some sort of similar system to other games. I will not name the games simply because of reasons, obviously, for obvious reasons. But I will name the system itself. A community poll. And I don't mean the forums, I mean like a poll where everyone can like propose things and actually be taken seriously, which I do believe the suggestion in the feedback page is more like a venting area. We need to be able to say, like, for example, if you like just threw this at us, like say, hey, we're planning on doing no cap for Soul Erdas, hypothetical, and we want to introduce a booster, a battle pass, a subscription service to increase rates of Soul Erda acquisition. I'm pretty sure you would have seen a very green perspective on that, where everyone or a majority of the people voted for that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would benefit from that. We would benefit from that. Everybody would benefit from that. So those are my two things I feel that you and we've learned, or just relearned or rediscovered, that are severely needed for MapleStory. So, to end the video, once again, thank you for moving to cap. Improve on those two areas that I mentioned, or introduce the second one, as well as do the first. And that Frenzy Totem is something I can't cover because I lack the information. So with that being said, let's hope Nexon stays the course and doesn't backtrack or fall backwards and just keeps on trekking forward in the right direction. So, thanks for watching. Good on you, Nexon. And I'll see you next time. Hopefully not in this format.